running out already, like ASAP. So this is the energy. This is the energy of Kislev, and B'ezras Hashem should be really a schus for all the hostages that should come back, and we should have a big success. B'ezras Hashem. So I want to start with the midrash that the Maharami Prague brings this midrash, and this is really it really sums up what is the essence of the month of Kislev. That the Maharami brings a midrash that says that at the beginning of creation, so Adam HaRishon, so he was sort of freaking out that he noticed that the days were getting shorter. That as we progressed, that as the every day the sunset became a little bit earlier, right? And so then he was really worried that that's going to be the end of the world. He was really worried that if every day gets a little bit shorter, so then soon there's going to be no world left. There's going to be without sunlight, so we're going to freeze. We absolutely need the sun. We absolutely need the sun. It's actually one of the wonders of the world, that it's a proof to the fact that the world was created by a God. The fact that the placement of the planet Earth in relation to the sun is so perfect that if it would have been a little bit closer, then our blood would boil. If it would be a little bit further out, then everything would freeze. And it's just like Goldilocks. We're just right, and we're so either we're very, very lucky, or God was planning this, and this is one of the proofs to the fact that the world was created by an intelligent being, is like how perfect it is that we need the sun, because otherwise we would freeze. We need to be, but otherwise we can't be too close because then we'll burn. And so Adam HaRishon was scared that that's it, no more sun, we're going to freeze to death. And so the sky is falling, right? Who was that? Was it the sky is falling? Chicken Little. Okay, so Adam HaRishon was the first Chicken Little. So and then he saw that one day he noticed that it stopped getting shorter. And so I don't know if there's a word for that. It's not the solstice. It's before the solstice. But this happened. And then another Mauritian. So he saw that it stopped getting shorter, and in fact that afterwards God started getting more sunlight. Okay, so when did this happen? When was this happening? So the Maharami Prague makes a calculation. So he says that there's 4 seasons, and there's 12 months. So each season is 3 months. So when the world was created, when was the world created? The world was created in Tishrei. But when we say the world was created in Tishrei, what do we really mean? So we're really talking about the day that Adam and Eve were created. Okay? So really, when we say that the world was created in Aleph Tishrei, we really mean that the 6th day of creation was Aleph Tishrei. So if you make a calculation, then the first day of creation was actually Chav Hei Elul. Okay? So some people celebrate Chav Hei Elul is the day of Yehior, the day of the beginning of creation. So if the beginning of creation was Chav Hei Elul, and each season is 3 months, so when the world was created, so it was fall. It was fall, and then 3 months later it begins winter, and then those are the times that it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and then 3 months later is the day that it stops getting shorter. So what's 3 months after Chav Hei Elul is Chav Hei Kislev. Okay, so the Chav Hei Kislev is the first day of Hanukkah. Really from the beginning of creation, from the very first Chav Hei Kislev, so the essence of the day was the day that light is overcoming darkness. That there was this battle between darkness and light. Darkness was trying to overcome the light, so to speak, and then the Chafei Kislev was the day that the light was strong and it wasn't able to be pushed over, wasn't able to be defeated, that the light started its comeback to be able to defeat the darkness. Okay? This is what's happening on Chaf Hey Kislev, which is Hanukkah, which is the holiday which we have in the month of Kislev. Okay? And we also have for any Chabad people of you. So we also have Yutes Kislev, which is also a big day, and also there's some yartzeits, but like there's in Chabad they're very into Chodesh Kislev, but the essence, the biggest thing Kislev is obviously Hanukkah. So from the very first Chavei Kislev of existence, so this was a day of light overcoming darkness. So this idea really comes out in another thing, that when we want to analyze the months of the year. So one of the ways that one of the places that we look to is in a very ancient book. We were just talking about this, the book called Sefer Yetzirah. Sefer Yetzirah, literally the book of formation. So it's actually the oldest book in the Jewish history, in our tradition, because the tradition is that it was written by Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was like way before we got the Torah. So according to this tradition, it's actually the oldest book that we have. And in Sefer Yetzirah, so it talks about, it starts by talking about the letters of the alphabet. Yetzirah means formation. So what's have to do with formation? So the idea is that through the letters of the alphabet, you can actually create something. Right? That how did God create the world? Vayomer Elokim Yehi Or, and God said, "Let there be light." So God created the world through speech. So what does that mean? That speech has a power to create. So speech is made of words. Words are made of letters. So when God was creating, so he was actually manipulating the letters of the alphabet. Okay, so this is the idea of Sefer Yetzirah, that if you really understand the depths, the secrets of the alphabet, the Hebrew language, specifically Hebrew language, because that's the only language that comes from God. That's why it's such a beautiful thing that here in Israel that we speak Hebrew. You know, it's even Jews for thousands of years were speaking Yiddish, speaking English. It's such an amazing thing. It's such a historical thing that we're coming back to. This is for you. That it's such a historical thing that we're going back to God's language, to the language that Hashem created the world with. It's something very noteworthy, and so it says in the Talmud that there were sages, there were Amoraim that knew the secrets of Sefer Yetzirah, and they were able to create things with it. It says about two sages that they were very poor, but they were able to, every Friday they were able to create some kind of sheep to shecht for Shabbos, and then that's how they would have their cholent every week, was from a meat that they created with Sefer Yetzirah. Apparently, they weren't able to just create a cholent. After they created the sheep, but it would have been saved their wife saved themselves. Cholent is for all the women here, so you have to know cholent is a guy's thing. Okay, let your husband make the cholent. But apparently, there's a way to create a sheep, but there has to be something basic. Okay? Anyway, so this is obviously the source of the legend of the Golem of Prague. Okay? Even though you can check out our class about the Maharami Prague, that there's actually no basis to this legend in actual Jewish sources. It's just some story that went around. I don't know from where, but anyway. So it goes to the letters of the alphabet, and then it says that the letters of the alphabet are connected to the month of the year. And in that context, it says that just like every month has a letter, so every month also has a sense. And just like it has a sense, it also has a constellation. And this is the source of Jewish astrology. Okay, so this is the first place it talks about astrology is in Sefer Yetzirah, and it talks about the fact that there's a constellation which is connected to every letter, to every month. I'm sorry. So what's the letter of the month of Kislev? So the Sefer Yetzirah says that the month of Kislev is connected to the letter Samach. What? You know this? Right? You heard a class about this already? Right? Right? You gave it right here? Nice. Okay. And how did you know?
I learned it.
You know Sefer Yetzirah?
I've been learning it.
Cool. Do you know how to make a golem?
No.
Not yet. Okay. Okay. So samach. So what is the essence of the letter samach? Okay. So we mentioned this Gemara when we spoke about the month of Cheshvan, that the month of Cheshvan, the letter of the month of Cheshvan is Nun. Okay. So the Gemara in Bracha says as follows. It says that in Ashrei is taken from Tehillim Kuf Mem He, chapter 145 in Tehillim, in Psalms, and so it goes through the alphabet. It goes through the alphabet, and it praises Hashem with every letter of the alphabet, but it skips one. Okay, it skips the letter Nun. So the Gemara says, why did David HaMelech, when King David was writing Tehillim, why did he skip the letter Nun? So it says the reason is because Nun stands for Nifilatan Yisrael, the Nifilah, it's about falling. Okay, so because Nun is about falling, so he didn't want to mention it. He's just like let's just not talk about falling. So he skipped the Nun entirely, but nevertheless it says there's Mikomakom Samchan Beruach Hakodesh Shene'amar Samech Hashem L'chol Hanaflim, that he gave support to this Nun. He supported the Nefilah, he supported the fall, because the next verse says, Samech Hashem l'chol hanaflim. Hashem supports anybody who's falling. Okay? That's the Samech. So the Samech is that after there's a Nun, there's always a Samech. That even though you're falling, but Hashem is always going to support you, and He's going to bring you back. So this is obviously the source of the miracles of the month of Kislev, that we said before, that Hanukkah is the holiday of miracles. It's the holiday of miracles. The truth is that Purim is also the holiday of miracles, but the difference is that Purim is about hidden miracles, and Hanukkah is about revealed miracles. Okay, so in this holiday of miracles, so how do you say miracle in Hebrew? Nes. So Nes is Nun and Samach. That you have some great danger, that they want to kill us, and they want to destroy us. They want us, and that we're 5 brothers against the whole Greek army, and then comes the Samach. Then we're able to overcome this danger. We have this Nefilah, this fall, this darkness, and we're able to overcome the darkness with a miracle. Okay, so the Nun and the Samach, we have the Nefilah, you have the fall, and then you have the support. So that's a miracle. That expresses itself in the world as a miracle. So the letter Samach is about Samech Hashem L'chol Hanaflim, and the truth is that we see this in the way that we write a letter Samach. Letter Samach in the Hebrew alphabet is a circle. The circle. So what do we see in the circle? The circle is that it starts on top and it goes down, 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 until it gets to the bottom. Okay, and when you're at the bottom, so what do you do then? So what do you do at the bottom? So like if you're down, then you just give up. Right? But the secret of Samach is that what do you do when you're at the bottom? It's time to start going back up again. And that's exactly what the picture of the graphic design of the letter Samach is teaching us, that just because you're going down, you're ready to get back up. Okay, there's no such thing as actually going down. So that's the first idea of the letter Samach. The Reb Tzadok HaKohen says that there's also another secret, another expression of the letter Samach. He says that if you want to know in general, if you want to know the essence of a letter or a word, so the way to figure this out is to look at the first time that the letter appears in the Torah. Okay? Because the Torah is showing the essence of everything in reality. It's a blueprint of reality, so to speak. So the first time that anything shows up in the Torah shows its essence. So if you look for the first samach, the first samach in the Torah, so it says about there was 4 rivers, and it says that, believed by Chideka, that it was Sovev at Eretz Kush. It says the word Sovev. So we see from here that the essence of Samach is Sovev, is a circle, which obviously is also evident in the design of a Samach, because it's actually a circle. So what does circle mean? What does circle mean in Kabbalah, in Judaism? So there's this idea that a circle represents makif. Circle represents makif. It says that there's 2 kinds of light. That there's or pnimi, that there's inner light, and there's or makif, there's surrounding light. So what's the idea of surrounding light? So surrounding light is a very interesting light because it's the light which is not really evident. It's the light that it's not so accessible. It says that inner light is the light that you can feel. It's like the times that we feel inspired, the times that we feel connected. So that means that our light is turned on. That's inner light. Inner light is what we would connect with. Surrounding light is the light that we don't really get it. It's just like hovering over us, so to speak, and it's somehow making a difference, and somehow like giving us its vibes in some way, but it's like it's very from far away, from a distance, and it's like someone like rooting us on, but we barely hear them. And so the commentaries explain that the difference between or pnimi and or makiv is actually that or pnimi is smaller than or makif. Then the light, whatever we can internalize, the reason why we can internalize it is because it's so small. Because we're small, we have small vessels. So if we can get it, so that means that it's something that we can digest. So if we can digest it, by definition, it's something small. Whereas the or makif, that represents the infinite dimension, that it's this light which is too great for us to really internalize, and that's why it doesn't fit. So that's why it's just hovering around us, inspiring us somehow. Like when we're able to, it does make a difference, and because of this or makif, so we are able to not give up, and the understanding that there's an or makif means that even if everything is off, even if everything is backwards, to know that there's someone has got my back. That I'm being, we talk about Hashem as being that one of the ways to refer to God is hamakom, the place. So the Gemara explains, why is Hashem called hamakom? Because it says hu mekomo shel olam, he is the place of the world. Ve'ein ha'olam mekomo. It's not that God resides in the world, but rather the world resides in God. Because that's why we call God the place. That's why like people that want to call God the universe. Like some people have an issue with the word God. So they like they'll reach out, they'll pray to the universe. So like there's something to that, because we also refer to God as the thing in which everything exists. So like it's just like a lot of it's really psychological. Like people that grew up with God, so they can't deal with the word God, because like that, I don't believe in that. And like people like when you speak to a secular group that grew up that they don't believe in God, so you don't say God, you say Hashem. When you speak to off the derech people, so you don't say Hashem because they don't believe in Hashem, but you talk about God. It's all just psychological. So Hashem is also like the universe. He's Mekomo shel olam, and that's referring to the fact that he's this makif, this light, this surrounding light, which is around everything that we can perceive, everything that we can relate to. So the entire world has this surrounding light around it, which is the or makif. So this is the other idea. This is the other idea of samach that represents the seviv, which is representing the or makif. And the truth is that these two ideas are very interconnected, because how is it that like what's keeping you so optimistic when things are bad? So how do you know that it's okay? It's going to be okay. How do you know that? Don't worry. We're getting closer to the bottom. We're getting closer to the bottom. That it's almost the way that we know our security, the source of our trust, that when it's going to be so bad that it's just, sometimes another thing you see in the Samach is that it doesn't get good until it gets to the very, very bottom. It gets to the very, very bottom. There's a crazy story with the Baal Shem Tov that once the Baal Shem Tov took all of his Hasidim and they went to, they said we have to go on a trip, and they went to some peasant, and they asked the peasant that hello, can you host us as your guests? So he said, so whoa, Baal Shem Tov, I'm so excited, yes, for sure, and he here's a place to stay. Like he had no money. He was a very, very poor peasant, but here I'll set up the barn. You can all stay in the barn, and I'll set you up a place to sleep. And so he's like so very thankful. He said, now tell me something. Do you have we're hungry. Do you have something for us to eat? So he says, oh, of course. So he goes to his wife and says, well, Baal Shem Tov is here with 10 Hasidim. We have to give him something to eat. What do we do? The only thing he has is like a chicken and a cow. Like the chicken, like that's how they have eggs every day, and then the cow is how like they get milk, and like that's their only income, that's their only possessions. And so the Baal Shem Tov says, so the host says to his wife, we have to shech the chicken, like in Malasot, we're stuck, like we can't, Baal Shem Tov, we can't leave him hungry, he's our guest. So he says, okay, whatever. So they shech the, and like the Hasidim, they feel horrible. They realize what's going on, and they feel like they're so embarrassed that this guy is so poor and they're eating his food. And like the next day, so the Baal Shem Tov goes to the neighbor, said, hi, we're hungry again. And so the poor guy, so he goes to his wife, like, I'm sorry, like I don't know what to do, but like we have to shech the cow, and like shech the cow, and like they start making a party, and the Hasidim, they feel so disgusting. They feel like, how can I do this? It's there's actually a halacha. There's a halacha that says it's forbidden to eat from the Gemara calls it suda she'ena maspekas lebayla. A suda, a meal that the host can't afford. So it says that you're not allowed to partake from such a thing. Like you have to be sensitive to the fact that if you can't put yourself into a situation that he is going beyond his means to make you feel good, and you're not allowed to partake from such a thing. So the Hasidim, like, they felt horrible that he's like, this is his last possession, and you were eating it. It's so inappropriate. And the Baal Shem Tov was like, this is good. Got some more. He's like now he's having the time of his life. And so like the next day they give some more until they finish all the meat, after this whole story, so the Baal Shem Tov goes over to the host and he says, I want to tell you something that it's time for us to go, and I really appreciate your hospitality. You've been a very good host. We really enjoyed it, and let me tell you why I came here. That I saw in my Ruach HaKodesh, in my divine inspiration, that the time has come for you to stop being poor. It's time for the wheel to spin, to turn, and it's time for you to be very, very rich. But the problem was that you still had some of your old luck, or some of your old destiny. There was something left from your old decree that you were supposed to be poor, and so I decided it's not working. He's never going to get his goodness, his riches. So I'm going to get rid of every last morsel of his old destiny in order that he should be able to have a new destiny, to be able to be rich. So I want you to know that in a couple of minutes after I leave, so somebody is going to come to you and tell you that he's left you his inheritance, and you're going to invest that, and you're going to become the greatest, the biggest, the richest person in the entire Poland, and of course, they lived happily ever after. So this is a concept, like in psychology, we also have this concept of rock bottom. that like sometimes, like the only way that a person can grow, the only person that a person can escape is when they reach the bottom. Okay? And that's what the Samach is telling us, that sometimes like it's going to have to get worse before it gets better, because the only place from which it could get better is from the bottom. Okay? So when a person is going down and he's falling and he's at the bottom, and so what gives him the right to say, what gives him the excitement, what gives him the optimism to say it's going to be okay? So what gives him the optimism is the sovev. What gives him the way he knows it's going to be okay is because he knows that everything that we know about, everything that we exist in, so somebody's got our back. That there's something beyond everything that we know, and that's the Ormak of that. That Hashem has got us. Hashem has created us, and He's not just leaving us just for chaos. That outside, holding up every like the Hercules kind of statue, that like behind everything that we know, so God has got our back, and that's symbolized by the Ormakif. Okay, so this is the source of the bitachon of the month of Kislev, that Reb Tzadok writes that the word Kislev, that the meaning of the word of the month of Kislev comes from the word of bitachon, of having trust in Hashem. And he brings two psukim. The first is a pasuk in Iyov, Perek Lamed Aleph. It says, "Im samti zahav kisli uleketem amarti miftachi." That if I put my trust in gold, or in the shiny things, also a word of trust. So we see that the word kesel, kisli, like Kislev, the word kesel means trust. But it's another pasuk that says, in Mishlei Perek Gimel, Ki Hashem yeh b'kislecha v'shmara kolcha milachet. Hashem will be your trust, and He will watch your legs from going into traps. Okay, so the word Kislev, the meaning of the word, that the literary translation of the word is about trust, is about bitachon. So the essence of the month of Kislev is that when things are bad, don't worry, have bitachon. It's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. That the bitachon that it's going to be, that Hashem has got our back. Okay. So now, so we said in Sefer Yetzirah, so it also connects every month with a sense. Okay, so there's 12 months and there's only 5 senses. So we're going to have to be a little bit creative with having 12 senses. So some of the senses in Sefer Yetzirah aren't senses the way we talk about it. It's more like energies, activities that we do. So, for example, one of them is eating, one of them is laughing, right? Adar is about laughing. And so the month of Kislev, so I can say it's my favorite month, because the month of Kislev is about sleep. Shena. Okay? So, your favorite too.
My sister's name is Shannon. She's born this
Whoa, okay. Yeah, but her name is Yiddish.
Right.
Yiddish Shena, not, yeah. That would be horrible for somebody to name their kid,
Sleep.
yeah, sleep. I mean, it's one of the dwarfs, right? So it's like naming a kid Dope, right? So what do we know about sleep? Okay, this is the month to become expert sleepers. Okay, to be connoisseurs of sleep. Okay, so I'm sure you know that there's 2 kinds of sleep. Okay, there's REM sleep and NREM sleep. Okay. REM is rapid eye movement sleep, and that's where we dream. And non-REM sleep is where our brain is very low functioning. Everything is just quiet. Okay, during non-REM sleep, so everything slows down, including our brains, and during REM sleep, our body is actually paralyzed. And is a very, very quick brain movement. Okay, so what's interesting is that they're both very necessary. They're both very necessary. Like there's not, like it's hard to say that one is deeper than the other, There's different levels. There's 3 levels of not REM sleep before you get to the REM sleep. But even the deepest non-REM sleep it's hard. It's not clear if one's deeper than REM sleep or not. They're just very different. And what's fascinating is that sleep is very necessary. It's very healthy. It's very healthy to sleep. And when a person sleeps, so then the body heals itself. Okay, a person that's not feeling well, so it's very important to sleep, because it's when you sleep that your body just fixes itself. I even read recently that if you're trying to lose weight and you don't sleep enough, so it's during your sleep that the body just works everything out, that it's supposed to put things in the right place. So non-REM sleep is about regaining energy. Okay, and this is it's very fascinating how you see in the same idea of the samach, that a person is pushing themselves and pushing themselves and pushing themselves, pushing themselves, and you have less energy and less energy and less energy and less energy and less energy until you have zero energy. And then what happens then? Then you go to sleep, right? So you would think that once you go to sleep, then you're gone, then you're at zero, then you're dead. And what really happens? What really happens when you get to zero, when you get to sleep, is that because you got to zero, then you're able to wake up the next morning completely refreshed. Okay, so sleep really represents this idea that when you get to the bottom, that's really the beginning of getting to the top. Okay, and that's expressed in the non-REM sleep. Okay, there's also one of the things about sleep is REM sleep, and REM sleep is obviously about dreams. Okay, and dreams is something which is very, very connected to the month of Kislev, because I'm not sure if it's almost all of the dreams which are spoken about in Chumash are in the Parshiot of the month of Kislev. Okay, that we're going to have this week. Next week we have the dream of Yaakov, that when he about the ladder, and we have the dreams of Yosef, and the dreams of Paro, and the dreams of the Sar Mashkim and the Sar Ofen, and the whole Chumash. And the whole Chumash, there's nobody talks about dreams. And all of the dreams, the entire Chumash, are all in the Parshiot of the month of Kislev. Okay, so it's really noteworthy. It's really halo davar. It's really amazing that the Torah is saying that yes, this is the time about dreams. This is the dreamy month. This is the month of dreams, and so what's really amazing about dreams is our connection to the beyond. Dreams is the connection to the Or HaMakif, the second element of the Samach, which is the surrounding light, the things that's beyond our conscious perception of life. So it helps us tap into something. Now, there's two kinds of dreams. There's the psychological element of dreams, and this is what Freud really revealed, so to speak. I'm pretty sure that I know somebody once told me that psychology rejects almost all of Freud's conclusions, but they still talk about dream. There's still. I know that there's still many therapists that talk about how to maybe exactly how we interpreted it. They disagree with, but the concept that a dream is a way to understand your subconscious, that's something which is totally still accepted, and that when a person is through a person's dreams, a person can see what are their emotions which were being suppressed, which are I don't realize, but it's there. Okay, so this is what's surrounding me, the feelings and the ideas which are not part of my conscious brain, but it's there. And there's another kind of dream. That the Gemara tells us about, and that is, it says that sometimes a dream can be a little bit of a prophecy. Okay, and the Gemara in Brachos talks about different dreams that a person could have, and the different meanings of the different dreams. It says that there's certain dreams which are bad dreams. They're bad dreams. It's a bad omen. It says that if all of your teeth fall out, for example, it's a very bad dream. It's a bad sign. if you have a dream about a Torah scroll being burned. It says that it's a very bad sign. But it could be that's only if it's on Yom Kippur. There are different omens, different. So sometimes a dream, besides Moshe Rabbeinu. So it says that all of the prophets would receive their prophecies in the form of dreams. Okay, so a dream, by definition, is a way of connecting to the beyond. Okay, so part of what this month, part of what's the energy of the month of Kislev is to really be really into our dreams, to really own our dreams, and to recognize the fact that there's more to understanding life than our conscious brains can tell us. That, like, to be able to embrace the fact that our dreams are a very valid source of truth, even though it's not something that you can really explain scientifically. Okay. So these are the.
I've heard also, like, dreams can also be something that it's like that it's killing something, a part of you. Have you heard that before?
Killing?
Like killing something, like a part of you.
Like what?
No, I don't know. For example, like if you were like always sad and then you had like extremely sad dream, that means like you're not feeling so sad anymore.
Interesting.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Okay.
From psychology.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now the next thing we know about the month of Kislev is that the Arizal writes that each month is corresponding to a tribe, and the month of Kislev is corresponding to the tribe of Binyamin. Okay, our dear Prime Minister. So what's the story? What's the story with Binyamin? Okay, so even though everybody hates him, but he's going to come back. He's going to make a big comeback. I told you I wanted to make this. I've been thinking a lot about, like, how we're going to fix the world. How we're going, like right now we have, like, everyone's talking about biyachad ninatzeach, that, like, such unity, it's so amazing. But, like, what are we going to do that the day after that it's not going to just go back to the same thing? And it's really crazy, especially like could be, I mentioned this before, that, like, it's really crazy how the anti-religious propaganda that had never been so bad in the state of Israel, like it was right before this happened, right before Sukkot Torah, that on Yom Kippur itself, like, it was the first time that nobody would dream of such a thing. That on Yom Kippur, to go and disrupt Yom Kippur services that are going on in public, and that it's in 7 different places, that, like, horrible hatred, horrible anti-religious hatred was going on. So it's like, I don't know, I'm half joking, maybe 3/4 joking, but, like, I was thinking of trying to make this movement of the deal of the century, the compromise of the century. We will get rid of Bibi, but you have to stop hating religious people. So we'll see if it takes on. So Binyamin. So what's the story of Binyamin? Binyamin. So the tradition is that it's not the tradition. The pasuk says very clearly that Rachel Imenu died as she was giving birth to Binyamin. Okay, so meaning to say that the yard site of Rachel Imenu is Yud Aleph Cheshvan, so that was his birthday. Okay? So some people, like, we don't know. So there's a tradition. Some people say that if we know that's his birthday, so then it's also the day that he passed away, because it says tzaddikim have the same birthday as they pass away. Well, I have issues with that, but for a different time. Anyway, so what do we know about Binyamin? So as she was giving birth to Binyamin, so she realized that she was dying, and so she called him Ben Oni, which means the son of my sorrow. Okay, but it says V'Yaakov kara lo Binyamin. Okay, so what is Binyamin? So So Rashi says that Yamin means the south, because if you're facing east, then your right is going south, right? So it's a reference to the land of Israel. Benjamin is my child of Israel. That was his way of saying my child of Israel, because he was the first of his sons, of all the 12 sons, the first of his sons who was born in the land of Israel. He was living in Aram Naharaim, and so this is the first of his sons, which is born in the land of Israel. So the commentaries explain that what was he doing? Like Rachel, his beloved wife was dying, and she was down. She was depressed about the fact that she's dying, and she called him the son of my sorrow, and he was able to say, it's true that my life is ending right now, that the love of my life is dying, and I'm going to be so broken right now, but it doesn't mean I can't look at the positive. It doesn't mean that I can't see the silver lining of the fact that look at the positive, that I have a child who was born in Israel. I have a sabra. Finally, I have a sabra. Finally, somebody I have a real Israeli. And so the commentators say an amazing thing, that he also understood that this is why Rachel had to die. That the reason why Rachel had to die is because Yaakov wasn't allowed to have two wives. Sorry, not two wives. He wasn't allowed to marry two sisters if he was in the land of Israel. Why is that? Because it says in the Torah you're not allowed to marry two sisters. And Yaakov kept the Torah. So how was he able to marry two sisters? So the answer is because he only kept the Torah when he was living in Israel. So that's why, at the moment that he came into Israel, the Ramban writes this. That's why he says explains that when you're able to do mitzvahs, when you're able to perform Torah in Israel, it's infinitely greater than performing mitzvahs outside of Israel, because over here, everything just takes on a much deeper meaning. So once he came to Israel, so suddenly this law that he can't have two sisters kicked in, and that's why Rachel had to die, because she was the second wife, not the first. So he understood that the reason why Rachel was dying was really because now he was actually elevating his existence to a higher level. And so he even though he was completely broken, he was so sad that he really loved Rachel like nothing else, and yet he was able to see that this is really part of my elevation. To see there's binyamin, that it's strength, to see it as a symbol of strength, and that the only way for me to elevate myself is to have to go through this horrible darkness of the sorrow of Rachel dying. So this is really in the essence of Rachel Imenu is the story. Is in the essence of Binyamin is that even though it's really everything is bleak, everything is horrible, but I recognize that it's necessary for something greater. That I need to take these 2 steps back in order to get 10 steps forward. And this same idea is expressed with Binyamin's descendant, no other than Esther Hamalka. That Queen Esther, she was, it says the Binyamin was Ish Yemini, is from the tribe of Binyamin. And so when Esther Hamalka, the most exciting part of her life, the most exciting part of her story with saving the Jewish people was that after she became queen, so Mordechai said, you have to ask Achashverosh to save the Jewish people, and so she said, I'm scared. What if he hasn't? That's 30 days. He hasn't asked for me, and if he doesn't point the staff at me, then I'm going to be dead. And so Mordechai said that, listen, you have to if this is your time. If you're going to be a loser, then then Hashem will just destroy you, and he'll find somebody else to save the Jews. And And so she said, okay, everybody daven for me for 3 days, and I'm going to go into before Achashverosh. So she walks into Achashverosh, and Chazal tell us a crazy story of what happened. And they tell us this in the Midrash in Tehillim Parak Chavbet. Tehillim Parak Chavbet is Lamantzerach Ayalas HaShachar. Lamantzerach Ayalas HaShachar, so it says that Ayalat HaShachar is a reference to Esther. Okay? I have a daughter Ayalat HaShachar. And she's named after Esther. And I also have another daughter, Hadass, who's also named after Esther, because Esther was also called Hadassah. So Lamantzerach Ayalat HaShachar is talking about Esther Amalka. It's talking about Queen Esther. So David Melech in his prophecy, so he says, I want to write a psalm about the story of Esther, and he writes Lamantzerach Ayalat HaShachar, Mizmor David, Keli lama azavtani. My God, why have you left me? Rachok mishuarti divrei shagasi. That you're far, you're distant from saving me, even though I'm crying out. That I call out by the day, and there's no answer, and I call out again at night, and there's only silence, and so it says that this. When was she saying this? When was she saying this? She was saying this as she walked into Achashverosh's palace. That she was all davening, she was all in her spiritual heights, she was all into her connection with God, and then she walked into the palace, and her connection ended. She never felt so distant. She felt like God had left her, and she felt like, God, this is when I need you the most. This is when I need you the most. Like, where have you gone? Why are you leaving me? And so the next pasuk in Tehillim, the next pasuk in this kapitel in Parak Chavbet is V'ata Kadosh Yoshev Tilat Yisrael. V'ata Kadosh Yoshev Tilat. V'ata Kadosh. You are holy. But the word holy in Hebrew, the word Kadosh, the etymology of the word Kadosh, Rashi says elsewhere means parush. It means to be separate. That it says, like, for example, when it says Kadoshim to you, that you should be holy, it means that you have to separate yourself. There's things that if you want to be holy, that you can't do everything. There's things you have to just say no. You have to make yourself limits. So Kadoshim to you means to stay away. So when we say that God is Kadosh, so what are we really saying? We're saying that God is distant. Because if God is going to be with us, one of us, so then he's not God. The reason why God is so holy is because he's so beyond, because he's so crazy, infinite. And so because he's so beyond, because he's so detached, that's why he's so holy. So what was Esther understanding at this moment? She was understanding that the fact that God is now leaving me, so there's a rule in spirituality that less is more. That the Or Makif, that the Samach of the Or Makif, that this infinite level of God's presence, so it's actually greater than any level of God's presence that we can perceive. So the fact that I'm not feeling you now, you know what that means? That means that God has just kicked into a higher gear, because right now I'm going to do something so awesome to save the Jews, to really turn everything around. So that requires that higher level of my existence, so to speak, where you won't be able to feel me. But don't think it's because I'm not here, it's because I'm even more here. And that's the secret of Binyamin. That's the secret of turning something which seems so bleak, so black, so horrible, and to see that really it's something beautiful, really it's a blessing. So now the last point that is that the constellation of the month of Kislev is Sagittarius, and so Sagittarius is an archer. Okay, some people for some reason think that in Hebrew keshet is a rainbow, and so for some reason some people attach it to a rainbow. I didn't see any sources in that actually that mazal keshet is connected to a rainbow, even though like a rainbow sort of looks like an arch as well. Okay, but in the source of the constellations, it's an archer, not a rainbow. So interestingly, I think with a bow and arrow, so you have the same thing. That when I'm pulling the the arrow back, so how do I make it that it should go far? I pull it backwards. So person doesn't understand will look at me and they say, hey, like if you want to throw an arrow, you should put it that way. Why you're putting the arrow closer to yourself? It's like the bad guy is that way. Why are you putting the arrow towards yourself? But we understand that no, that's the way it works. That the only way to get propelled forward is only to bring it backwards first. Okay, so this is in the Keshet, in the Sagittarius, is really the secret of that Yerida l'tzarech aliyah. Okay, and so some of the things about Sagittarius is that they're very, very optimistic. That they're always able to really, that they're constantly seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. They're able to see the what? That,
I know a Sagittarius.
yeah, and are they very optimistic?
No.
No? Okay, maybe they're
But I know two, and one of them is one of them.
maybe their Hebrew date is Sagittarius, and they don't understand that you're supposed to go with the English date.
Maybe.
So that's an important thing. That like when it comes to constellations are part of the solar year. So it doesn't matter when your Hebrew birthday is. It matters when your English birthday is. So it's from November 22nd, even though we're very Jewish. So now besides being very optimistic, so they're also very free spirit. They don't like being told what to do, and they're constantly looking for change. Okay? They're constantly looking to improve. They're constantly to make things better. They hate being like stifled. Like this is the way it is. That this is like these are. Like this is what your trajectory is. That they need to constantly be able to do whatever they think is the right thing to do, and to be able to constantly be able to change, which is obviously also symbolized in the Samach, which is like constant motion, and also a third thing about Sagittarius is that they're constantly they're very curious, and they're very constantly looking for knowledge, okay, which makes them very, very bright. And this, I think that this constant search for knowledge, it comes from this understanding that there is more than what you see at the surface. Like there has to be like this understanding of the Or Makif, the understanding that whatever we see is not the whole story. So that's the source of their constant curiosity and their constant search for wisdom. It's really because they understand that whatever we get is only just the tip of the iceberg. So this is really this is what I wanted to share with you about the month of Kislev, and it's really this is how we come to miracles. This is how we get to the holiday of Hanukkah, which B'ezrat Hashem we should see constant miracles. We should already now from today we should only see huge miracles in Gaza and in the north and wherever we need, and really to internalize that like the way to really bring down the miracle vibe is to understand that there's no such thing as darkness. Is to understand that whenever we feel distant, so it's really just bringing us one step closer to the next level of growth. Rabbi Nachman has a famous Torah where he writes that sometimes people go for years without feeling close to Hashem, and they go and they feel like I'm trying so hard, like you don't want me, obviously, and just the only way to make it is to be very, very stubborn, which is also a Sagittarius trait. That to be it's more a Taurus trait, right? That he writes that, and I spoke to many tzaddikim, and they all told me that they all went through this. They all felt like, God, where are you? Like I'm trying so hard to connect. I'm trying so hard to be good, and like I don't feel you. I don't feel anything's right. I don't feel that you're at all responding, and the only reason why they made it to the spiritual heights that they reached is only because they didn't give up. And he says that I spoke to, and every tzaddik I ever spoke to, there's no such thing as a tzaddik that just had it easy from the beginning. That the only way to make it big in life is only if you're at the bottom first. Is only if you're going to be able to deal with being with the darkness and to know that there is a light at the end of the darkness. So B'ezrat Hashem should bless the entire Jewish people that we should see a light, a very huge, huge light, the light of Mashiach, the light of Geula, in this month. And Hashem should really bring a very quick end to all of our darkness. B'ezrat Hashem. Chaim.